land of nomads and endless steppes. But what if this nation of serene landscapes hides some of the most surprising and paradoxical traditions in the world? Real life in Mongolia is a mix of extremes, a country where some families avoid bathing for days, yet offer unparalleled hospitality to strangers, where young men can win brides by catching horses, and women, educated at top universities, struggle to find partners. This documentary goes beyond cliches of yurts and Gobi deserts to explore the most astonishing facts and culturally rich contradictions of Mongolia. From drinking fermented horse milk and mysterious spiritual practices to living in the world's coldest capital, from diets made almost entirely of meat to the secretive rituals of the Gobi, Mongolia challenges every expectation. Is it a nation of ancient customs or modern survival? Are its people steeped in invisible beliefs or shaped by extreme environment? Ready to uncover the extraordinary truths behind Mongolia, a country where tradition, mystery, and resilience collide in the most astonishing ways.
Number 1. The land of endless steppes. Mongolia stretches across 1.56 million square kilometers, bordered by Russia to the north and China to the south, with portions of Lake Hovskol and the Gobi Desert defining its extremes. Although relatively small compared to continents, its size rivals 3 times the area of California, offering sweeping plains, rugged mountains, and deserts that seem infinite. Approximately 45% of the country is covered in mountains, while vast grasslands dominate 40%, and the remaining land hosts lakes, rivers, and the occasional oasis. What makes Mongolia truly unique is its mix of sparse population and cultural richness. With around 3.5 million people, it ranks among the least densely populated nations on Earth. Yet the urban hub of Ulaanbaatar houses nearly half the population, creating stark contrasts between city life and nomadic traditions. Ethnically, Mongolia is home to over a dozen groups, primarily Khalkha, with minorities like Kazakhs and Buryats maintaining distinct languages and customs. The Mongolian language, written in both Cyrillic and traditional vertical script, is complex, with vowel harmony and intricate grammatical cases, challenging even seasoned linguists. Nomads in the steppes maintain traditions such as portable gurs, or yurts, horseback herding, and seasonal migration, while city dwellers embrace modern conveniences. Interestingly, Mongolia follows a 13-month lunar calendar in certain festivals, a quirk that continues to surprise visitors. Despite its modest size and harsh climate, the country's geography and demographics foster an enduring sense of resilience, adaptability, and harmony with nature. From the icy peaks of the Altai to the rolling sands of the Gobi, Mongolia's landscapes set the stage for extraordinary human stories, some shocking, others deeply inspiring, all waiting to be explored.
Number 2. No bathing, no using the toilet. In Mongolia's remote regions, some families follow a centuries-old tradition of postponing bathing for days, even weeks, especially during the harsh winter months. Surprisingly, this practice is not born from neglect, but from a practical response to extreme cold and scarce water resources. Homes in the steppes, often insulated gurs, maintain warmth by conserving heat, making daily washing nearly impossible. Public sanitation also differs dramatically from urban expectations. In rural communities, toilet facilities are minimal, and open-air defecation is sometimes a necessity due to terrain and temperature. Yet locals emphasize careful hygiene routines using available water or ashes. This might seem shocking to outsiders, yet it reflects a deeply ingrained adaptation to the environment, prioritizing survival over comfort.
Interestingly, in contrast to these austere conditions, Mongolian hospitality remains unmatched. Guests are offered tea, dairy, and meals in pristine portions, demonstrating that personal hygiene practices do not diminish communal generosity or social warmth. You could say this paradox, austere living coexisting with extraordinary hospitality, is one of Mongolia's most fascinating contradictions. Comment number 2, if you could handle living in a home without modern bathing or toilet facilities for a week, would you dare to experience the steppes as Mongolians have for centuries?
Number 3, a tradition that might seem unbelievable to outsiders. Find the horse, win the bride. In certain rural regions of Mongolia, young men are tested for courage, skill, and endurance before marriage, not with wealth, but on horseback. The horse is more than an animal. It is a symbol of vitality, stamina, and the ability to survive the harsh steppe. During festivals or local ceremonies, a prospective groom must demonstrate his mastery over horses, navigating rough terrain and completing timed challenges. Only then is he considered worthy of courtship. Around 60% of rural Mongolian marriages still involve some form of this traditional skill testing, though in modern cities it has largely disappeared. You could say the horse is the ultimate arbiter of readiness and responsibility. The ritual is deeply tied to Mongolian values, resilience, patience, and connection to nature. While in the West, engagement may rely on romantic dinners or proposals, here the measure of a man is physical, practical, and communal. Interestingly, women participate actively in these ceremonies, observing not only skill but character, ensuring their choice reflects shared cultural wisdom. This tradition highlights a larger paradox. Ancient customs survive in one of the most modernizing countries on the planet. Comment number 3, if you would dare to attempt such a test yourself. Could you handle riding across icy plains to prove your worth in love?
Number 4, a modern paradox in Mongolia. Educated women often face unexpected challenges in marriage. While the country celebrates high literacy rates, with around 98% of young adults completing secondary education, a growing number of women hold university degrees and professional careers. In theory, this should open doors to opportunity, yet social expectations for traditional family roles persist, creating a subtle tension between ambition and societal norms. In urban centers like Ulaanbaatar, women in their late 20s often find themselves competing with younger, less educated peers who are more willing to embrace conventional domestic responsibilities. Approximately 35% of women aged 25 to 30 report difficulties in finding a long-term partner, according to national statistics. The contrast between achievement and expectation shapes daily life, from family gatherings to workplace interactions, highlighting the friction between tradition and modernity. Interestingly, this tension has inspired new social adaptations. Matchmaking events and professional networks now provide platforms for educated women to meet partners who value both career and family. Yet, rural communities still emphasize early marriage, creating a divide between city and countryside experiences. While ambition and independence flourish, the enduring weight of tradition remains palpable. Comment number 4, if you know someone navigating this balance. Do you think education changes marital expectations, or do cultural norms still hold the strongest influence?
Number 5, a taste that defines Mongolia. Fermented horse milk, locally known as kumis. This slightly alcoholic tangy beverage is more than a drink. It is a cultural emblem, sustaining nomadic families for centuries. In rural regions, mares are milked daily, producing approximately 10 to 15 liters per animal, which are then fermented in traditional leather containers. The process preserves nutrients and creates a subtly effervescent texture, prized for both flavor and health. For centuries, Mongolians believed kumis boosts stamina, strengthens the immune system, and helps endure the bitter cold. Travelers often describe the first sip as sharp and unfamiliar, with a slightly sour aroma,
and a creamy texture that coats the palate. Interestingly, it is considered polite to accept a small cup when offered by a host, even if the taste surprises outsiders. While modern supermarkets in Ulaanbaatar now sell pasteurized versions, in the countryside, families continue centuries-old methods. Nomads often consume up to 2 liters per day, integrating the drink into breakfast, lunch, and evening routines. What's fascinating is how a simple fermented beverage binds communities, serving as both sustenance and social ritual during gatherings. Would you dare to try kumas straight from the traditional leather container? Comment number 5 if you would sip this centuries-old Mongolian tradition. Despite its unusual taste to foreigners, kumas remains a cherished marker of endurance and identity.
Number 6. A deeply controversial and often misunderstood practice, reports of virginity testing in rural schools. While rare and increasingly challenged by authorities, some cases have emerged where young women were subjected to examinations intended to confirm chastity. These reports have sparked national and international debate, highlighting the tension between traditional practices and modern human rights perspectives. Historically, chastity was tied to social status, family honor, and marital readiness. In some communities, elders believed such checks were a safeguard, ensuring young women could marry appropriately and maintain family reputation. Around 5 to 10 isolated cases per region have been reported in recent years, though the practice is far from universal. Interestingly, families and educators often frame it as protective rather than punitive, underscoring a vastly different cultural lens. While urban Mongolia has largely abandoned such traditions, rural areas sometimes retain them, creating stark contrasts between modernity and heritage. NGOs and advocacy groups have worked to educate communities, emphasizing consent, privacy, and women's rights. These efforts illustrate how social norms evolve slowly, influenced by law, media, and generational dialogue. Do you think such practices can ever coexist with contemporary values? Comment number 6 if you believe cultural tradition should adapt, or if heritage must be preserved. Despite international scrutiny, the debate reveals a broader paradox: the struggle to balance respect for culture with the rights of individuals.
Number 7. A title few cities can claim. Ulaanbaatar, the world's coldest capital. Nestled at nearly 1,350 meters above sea level and surrounded by mountain ranges, the city experiences winter temperatures that can drop below -40 degrees Celsius, with average January lows around -22 degrees Celsius. Remarkably, despite its urban density of about 1.5 million residents, life continues in a rhythm dictated by the cold. Heating is a daily necessity. Traditional gur stoves burn coal or wood, while modern apartments rely on centralized heating systems. Streets are often blanketed in frost and snow for nearly 5 months of the year, creating a serene yet unforgiving landscape. Interestingly, residents adapt through layered clothing, communal saunas, and hot milk tea, turning survival into a deeply ingrained cultural practice. The cold shapes more than daily routines. It influences commerce, transportation, and even social habits. While cafes and shops are bustling hubs inside, the streets remain quiet and still during blizzards. Visual contrasts abound. Towering apartment blocks beside traditional gurs, smoke curling into the icy air, highlighting the juxtaposition of tradition and modernity. Would you dare to walk the streets at -30 degrees Celsius, breathing the crisp, almost metallic winter air? Comment number 7 if you think you could endure a full winter here. Despite the harshness, Ulaanbaatar thrives, a city resilient, resourceful, and deeply connected to its extreme environment.
Number 8. A culinary reality that surprises many visitors. Mongolia's diet is overwhelmingly meat-based. Traditionally, nomadic families rely on livestock such as horses, goats, sheep, and camels, producing meat, milk, and other essentials.
In some rural regions, over 70% of calories come from animal products, with vegetables and grains playing a minimal role due to the harsh climate. Meals are simple yet hearty. Dishes like booze, steamed dumplings, horhag, mutton stew with hot stones, and dried horse meat dominate the table. You could say the diet is a direct response to survival in extreme temperatures, providing high-calorie, protein-rich sustenance necessary for daily labor and long winters. Interestingly, fermented milk products such as ayrag, fermented mare's milk, complement meat dishes, balancing taste with nutrients. While Western diets often emphasize variety, in Mongolia, practicality and endurance dictate food choices. Despite limited vegetables, families creatively use herbs, dairy, and dried fruits to diversify flavors. Urban centers now offer imported produce, but the countryside remains rooted in centuries-old dietary patterns. Do you think you could survive a week consuming almost nothing but meat? Comment number 8 if you would attempt this Mongolian culinary challenge. Despite what outsiders might assume, this diet is not merely traditional, it is a deeply practical adaptation, sustaining generations in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Number 9, a chapter that explores what cannot be seen, the invisible beliefs guiding Mongolian life. Shamanism and Buddhism coexist in a subtle spiritual tapestry that influences daily decisions, rituals, and even architecture. Around 80% of Mongolians identify culturally with Buddhism, yet many incorporate shamanic practices passed down through generations, blending prayers, offerings, and ceremonies for health, protection, and prosperity. In homes, you might notice small altars, sacred stones, or ceremonial poles called ovo, marking significant sites. Offerings of milk, grains, or coins are placed, often without outsiders even noticing. Interestingly, this spiritual layer is rarely loud or public. It is woven into movement, timing, and interaction. For example, before a journey, it is customary to circle an ovo 3 times clockwise, leaving a token, symbolizing respect for nature and unseen forces. While urban life has introduced secular routines, rural areas preserve a profound sense of connection to spirits, ancestors, and the landscape itself. The paradox is striking. Modern infrastructure and smartphones exist alongside timeless, invisible guidance, influencing choices without overt acknowledgement. Do you think invisible beliefs truly shape behavior, or are they symbolic relics of the past? Comment number 9 if you find such spiritual customs fascinating. Despite being unseen, these beliefs quietly govern actions, revealing a moral and cultural compass embedded in Mongolia's heart and landscape.
Number 10. A glimpse into Mongolia's nocturnal social life, the warm embrace of hospitality paired with traditional night drinks. In both urban apartments and countryside gurs, guests are welcomed with ayrag, fermented mare's milk, vodka, or locally brewed tea, often accompanied by an array of meat-based snacks. You could say these rituals are as much about connection as consumption, binding communities in shared stories, laughter, and song. Hosts often insist guests partake in multiple toasts, a symbol of respect and unity. In smaller towns, locals may gather around a single fire, drinking for hours, recounting ancestral tales, or discussing local events. Interestingly, the taste of fermented mare's milk or strong vodka can be surprising to outsiders, but it signals acceptance into the social circle. While Mongolia's daytime is dominated by labor and survival, nights carry a different rhythm, one of warmth, camaraderie, and gentle revelry. Despite harsh winters, social bonds flourish over shared drinks, creating an intimacy that transcends language and background. Would you dare to join a traditional Mongolian night gathering, sampling ayrag straight from the vessel? Comment number 10 if you would immerse yourself in this age-old hospitality. Surprisingly, these nightly rituals are not mere indulgence. They are a testament to generosity, trust, and the human desire to connect even under the vast, cold skies of Mongolia.
Number 11. Where the sands conceal secrets, the vast and enigmatic Gobi Desert. Stretching over 1.3 million square kilometers, the Gobi is a land of extremes, scorching heat in summer, bitter cold in winter, and winds that can sweep across dunes at over 100 kilometers per hour. Despite its harshness, it is teeming with life, from rare snow leopards and Bactrian camels to hidden oases where nomadic families maintain ancient survival skills. Archaeologists and paleontologists have long been fascinated by the Gobi, uncovering dinosaur fossils and ancient human artifacts, some dating back over 70 million years. Local legends speak of spirits that roam the dunes, invisible to outsiders, but revered by nomads. Interestingly, travelers often report a profound sense of stillness, an almost spiritual silence, broken only by the wind or distant camel bells. While Western deserts are often seen as empty wastelands, the Gobi is alive, simultaneously unforgiving and nurturing, harsh yet awe-inspiring. You could say it is a place where the past, present, and myth converge, revealing the resilience of both nature and human culture. Would you dare to cross the Gobi on a traditional camel caravan, spending nights under the cold, star-strewn sky? Comment number 11 if you would venture into this ancient wilderness. Despite its isolation, the Gobi holds stories, treasures, and mysteries that continue to captivate explorers and scholars alike.
Mongolia is becoming a top choice for travelers and digital nomads seeking authentic experiences at surprising affordability. Compared to cities like Tokyo, London, and New York, living expenses here can be less than half the cost, making it an appealing destination for those seeking adventure without breaking the bank. Housing costs are modest. A one-bedroom apartment in Ulaanbaatar's city center ranges from $350 to $550 per month, while outside the center, prices drop to around $200 to $350. Utilities average about $50 per month, covering heating, electricity, and water. For meals, street food is accessible and satisfying. Booze dumplings cost about $1.50 each. Hushur fried pastries around $2, and erog, fermented mare's milk, roughly $1.50 per serving. A weekly grocery budget for a single resident averages $25 to $35, while a restaurant meal may range from $6 to $12. Transportation is practical. Ride-hailing for 5 to 10-kilometer trips costs approximately $3 to $5, while public buses charge 50 cents per ride. Monthly vehicle rentals can be found for $400 to $600, ideal for longer exploration. Additional services are affordable. Gym memberships average $30 to $50 per month, laundry $2 to $3 per kilogram, and basic healthcare consultations $15 to $25. With a monthly budget of around $800 to $1,000, you can comfortably enjoy city life, local cuisine, cultural experiences, and even occasional excursions into the countryside. This is why more and more expats and remote workers are choosing Mongolia as their medium-term home, blending adventure, practicality, and cultural immersion.
To fully experience Mongolia, careful planning ensures both safety and enjoyment. First, documents and visa requirements vary. Most travelers need a tourist visa, obtainable via an e-visa process, costing around $50, valid for 30 days. Citizens from some countries are exempt, while others must apply in advance. Always carry a copy of your passport and visa while traveling. Transportation within cities is straightforward. Ride-hailing apps like Ulaanbaatar Taxi, Gigi Taxi, and Bolt are reliable, while licensed taxi companies remain a safe alternative. Public transport is inexpensive, but road can many meals. Pack essential medications for altitude or cold, particularly if traveling to rural or desert regions. Money and payments are simple but vary. The local currency is the Mongolian tugreg. Exchange currency at reputable banks or hotels, and know that cash is more common than cards in small towns. Tipping is modest but appreciated. By following these tips, you'll have a safe, fulfilling journey, discovering the pristine landscapes, vibrant culture, and resilient spirit of Mongolia. Whether wandering Ulaanbaatar's bustling streets or exploring the silent Gobi, preparation allows you to embrace both adventure and authenticity in this extraordinary country.
Japan, a nation where order reigns supreme. Streets are spotless, trains arrive to the second, and politeness feels almost sacred. To the outside world, this is the perfect society. Disciplined, safe, and endlessly fascinating. But behind the serenity lies another Japan, a world that rarely reaches the surface. Beneath the glowing neon lights and quiet traditions are stories of secrecy, pressure, and moral paradox. A country bound by respect, yet shaped by rules that few dare to question. From the unspoken taboos that govern daily life, to the rituals that blur the line between purity and desire, Japan is far more complex than it appears. This isn't the Japan of travel guides or cherry blossoms. This is the Japan that hides behind silence. The question is, what does perfection cost, and who pays the price for it? Number 1. The floating archipelago. To understand Japan, you must first see its isolation. Over 6,800 islands scattered across the Pacific, shaped by volcanoes, earthquakes, and relentless waves. For centuries, this geography didn't just define the land, it defined the people. Separated from the Asian mainland, Japan grew inward, crafting a civilization of perfection, precision, and ritual. Nature became both a teacher and a threat. From the snow-covered peaks of Hokkaido to the tropical shores of Okinawa, every inch of land demanded balance. Harmony wasn't a choice, it was survival. This isolation built a unique mindset, one that values order over chaos and community over self. Even today, the island's boundaries linger in the national psyche. Foreigners are welcomed, but never fully absorbed. Global influence is filtered, reinterpreted, made distinctly Japanese. It's why tradition still lives inside neon cities, why ancient shrines stand beside skyscrapers. Japan isn't a mix of old and new. It's a negotiation between them. Every ritual, every custom, every silent bow traces back to an island people determined to remain themselves. To the world, Japan looks unified. But behind that calm surface lies the pressure to preserve perfection, an invisible current shaping every part of life. Comment number 1. If you believe isolation can create both beauty and burden. Number 2. Taboos in Japan. Japan is a land of politeness, but also of silence. Beneath the bowing, smiling, and spotless order lies an invisible web of taboos that shapes every moment of daily life. These unspoken rules aren't written anywhere, yet breaking them can freeze a room faster than any law ever could. Don't blow your nose in public. Don't pour your own drink. Never stick your chopsticks upright in rice. It resembles death. Even the way you hand over a business card can decide whether you're seen as respectful or careless. In Japan, etiquette isn't about manners. It's about belonging. The reason is rooted in centuries of social harmony. A system called we-e. It values the collective above the individual and discomfort above confrontation. That's why so many Japanese choose silence over honesty. You might never hear no, but you'll feel it in the pause that follows. Interestingly, foreigners often break these taboos without realizing it. Yet, rather than reacting with anger, locals respond with patience and quiet distance. Japan won't tell you you're wrong. It will simply close its doors. This is a country still governed by invisible walls, softer than steel, but far harder to cross. Comment number 2. If you think silence can sometimes speak louder than words, Number 3. Japanese women and their unique beauty. In Japan, beauty isn't shouted, it's whispered. The allure of Japanese women lies not in extravagance, but in restraint. Soft gestures, calm voices, and skin as pale as porcelain. A symbol once linked to nobility, now reborn as modern sophistication. The ideal face here is subtle, almost delicate. Wide eyes framed by modest lashes, lips gently tinted, and movements measured with quiet precision. While Western standards often chase boldness, Japan celebrates the art of absence, of knowing when to stop. Beauty here isn't just how you look. It's how you move, how you listen, how you exist within a space. The reason is cultural, shaped by centuries of philosophy, from wabi-sabi, which finds grace in imperfection, to shibui, which praises understated elegance. Interestingly, many women spend hours perfecting what seems effortless. A flawless complexion, hair that never rebels, clothing layered for both modesty and style. In contrast, Tokyo's fashion districts tell another story, where rebellion meets refinement. From Harajuku's neon chaos to Ginza's quiet luxury, Japanese women navigate dual worlds, tradition and self-expression. Despite this paradox, one truth remains. Beauty here is never loud. It's the kind that lingers, silent yet unforgettable. Comment number 3 if you believe real beauty is felt, not seen. Number 4. The dark side of the imperial history. Beneath Japan's serene temples and calm rituals lies a past far less peaceful. For centuries, the Japanese Empire wasn't just a nation, it was an ambition to dominate, to expand, to rule. Yet this pursuit left behind scars still visible, even when unspoken. From the Meiji Restoration's rise to the Pacific War's devastation, Japan's march toward modernity came at a heavy cost. Cities across Asia, from Seoul to Nanjing, remember a time when the empire's shadow stretched far beyond its shores. Officially, Japan rebuilt and repented. But inside the nation's memory, that darkness remains carefully managed, never fully erased. The reason is cultural. Japan values shame over guilt. History is not denied, but often softened, turned into lessons rather than wounds. Textbooks speak in whispers. Museums display reflection, not accusation. The silence isn't ignorance, it's survival, a collective choice to look forward rather than back. Still, monuments and memorials tell another story. In Hiroshima, paper cranes float beside reminders of destruction. In Yasukuni Shrine, fallen soldiers rest, heroes to some, symbols of pain to others. Despite its reputation for peace and discipline, Japan's past reveals a paradox, a nation capable of both exquisite art and extraordinary violence. Comment number 4. If you believe beauty and brutality can exist within the same nation. Number 5. An economy for adults. Japan is known for technology, discipline, and quiet perfection. But hidden beneath that reputation lies an economy few outsiders truly understand. One built not just for consumers, but for desires. From discreet alleyways in Tokyo to brightly lit arcades in Osaka, an entire industry thrives on fantasy, loneliness, and human need. This isn't a story about scandal. It's about survival. In a society that prizes restraint, emotional release finds its outlet elsewhere. Through themed cafes, companionship services, and entertainment zones that cater to every unspoken wish. The adult industry in Japan generates over $20 billion annually, reaching far beyond the stereotype of red lights. It includes animation studios, photography, even artificial intelligence. The reason is deeply cultural. Confrontation is avoided, affection is hidden, and work consumes everything. In a nation where overtime replaces intimacy, These industries become emotional substitutes, safe zones for what can't be said aloud. Interestingly, this openness coexists with modesty. While Japan regulates morality through silence, its economy monetizes the very emotions it suppresses. That contradiction defines modern urban life: restraint on the surface, rebellion beneath. Despite its formality, Japan understands the human heart. Fragile, lonely, searching, and it builds entire cities to serve it. Comment number 5. If you think loneliness can sometimes become a billion-dollar business.
It was never just about the act itself. It was about the fantasy, the escape. We were selling dreams, albeit unconventional ones, and that carries a certain weight.
Number 6. Japan's culture of individuality. In a country built on conformity, individuality is a quiet rebellion. Japan's culture teaches its people to blend in, not stand out, to move in rhythm with others, like a school of fish in perfect formation. Yet beneath that harmony, a new generation is beginning to swim the other way. From Tokyo's minimalist artists to Osaka's fashion visionaries, individuality here doesn't shout. It whispers through precision and intent. Every detail, from a hairstyle to handwriting, becomes a form of coded self-expression. In a culture where uniformity is safety, creativity often hides in plain sight. The reason is historical. For centuries, social harmony, was the moral compass of Japan. To disrupt it was to risk exclusion. But globalization and digital culture have cracked that shell. Young Japanese now challenge norms through design, streetwear, music, and micro-subcultures that redefine beauty, gender, and success. Interestingly, these expressions often maintain Japanese restraint. Even rebellion here is organized, thoughtful, polite. While Western individuality celebrates loud freedom, Japan's version is disciplined, a balance of control and identity. Despite appearances, this is a nation quietly rediscovering itself. One idea, one artist, one act of courage at a time. Comment number 6. If you think true individuality can exist even in the most collective societies. Number 7. Sensitive vending machines. Nowhere on Earth are machines as human as in Japan. With over 5 million vending machines, the country holds the highest per capita rate in the world, roughly 1 for every 25 people. But these aren't ordinary dispensers of snacks or drinks. Some of them serve emotions, memories, even taboos. At first glance, a vending machine offering hot soup in winter or umbrellas during sudden rain seems practical, even charming. Yet, step deeper into the back streets of Tokyo or Nagoya, and you'll find the unusual. Machines selling love letters, fortune slips, or even used collectibles that hint at something more intimate. The reason lies in Japan's fascination with automation and privacy. In a culture that values discretion, machines become safe intermediaries, granting desires without judgment. Buying something personal from a person might bring shame. From a machine, it feels anonymous, almost innocent. Interestingly, many of these machines also cater to nostalgia. Vintage toys, regional drinks, or forgotten candies. They turn commerce into comfort, wrapping loneliness in neon light. Despite the oddities, these machines reveal something profound: Japan's ability to humanize even its technology. They aren't just vending products, they're vending emotions. Comment number 7. If you've ever wished a machine could read your mood. Number 8. The world's strangest services. Only in Japan could the ordinary become extraordinary, and the extraordinary become normal. Here, the service industry isn't built merely to serve needs. It's built to serve emotions. From renting a fake family for dinner to hiring someone to apologize on your behalf, Japan has turned empathy into an enterprise. There are companies that provide professional mourners for funerals and others that send strangers to pose as wedding guests. ensuring no celebration ever looks lonely. In Tokyo alone, hundreds of agencies offer companionship, conversation, or even silent company for those too isolated to ask for it. The reason is both practical and deeply human. Work culture leaves little room for social life, and emotional honesty is often considered impolite. So Japan has found a way to outsource intimacy, to turn feelings into formal transactions. Interestingly, these services don't mock loneliness. They dignify it. A rented father listens without judgment. A hired friend never breaks a promise. It's not deception. It's comfort, disguised as business. Despite sounding surreal, these industries reveal Japan's greatest paradox. In a society obsessed with politeness and distance, compassion still finds a way, even if it comes with an hourly rate. Comment number 8. If you think connection, even when paid for, is better than isolation. Number 9. Nightlife in Japan. When the neon lights flicker on and the trains grow silent, another Japan awakens, a world of contrast and controlled chaos. The nightlife here is not just about entertainment. It's a window into the country's dual identity, disciplined by day, uninhibited by night. From Tokyo's Shinjuku and Roppongi to Osaka's Dotonbori, entire districts glow like living circuits. There are more than 50,000 bars and clubs across Japan, ranging from minimalist whiskey dens to themed maid cafes and secret jazz lounges. What's fascinating is how the same society that prizes modesty and order embraces a nightlife built on freedom and fantasy. The heartbeat of Japanese nightlife isn't the alcohol, it's the release. In a culture bound by etiquette and restraint, these nights become safe spaces to exhale. Karaoke bars, for instance, are not about talent, but trust, a way to sing your truth without judgment. Interestingly, most of these venues are small, some seating only 6 or 7 people, fostering quiet connection over loud celebration. Yet, beneath the laughter and lights, there's a quiet melancholy, a reminder that even joy here has structure. While the West parties to escape, Japan celebrates to endure. It's a nightlife not of chaos, but of carefully managed emotion. Would you dare to explore this hidden side of Japan after dark? Comment number 9 if you would. Number 10 famous tourist attractions. Japan's beauty doesn't shout. It whispers through centuries of harmony between nature and design. Every landmark here tells a story of devotion, discipline, and delicate balance. Number 1 is Mount Fuji, a near-perfect volcanic cone rising 3,126 meters, often veiled in clouds that seem painted by hand. It's not just a mountain, but a mirror of the Japanese spirit, serene, symmetrical, and strong. Around it, Lake Kawaguchi reflects its snow-capped peak, creating a scene so poetic it's featured on countless artworks and postage stamps. Further south lies Kyoto, home to 17 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, from the Golden Pavilion Kinkakuji to the 1,000 red torii gates of Fushimi Inari Shrine. Each step there feels like walking through a living museum, where time forgot to move forward. In contrast, Tokyo Tower and Shibuya Crossing represent Japan's modern pulse, where nearly 2,500 people cross the street at once in silent synchronization. Meanwhile, Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park stands as a quiet testament to resilience, reminding visitors that beauty and sorrow often share the same soil. What's fascinating is how Japan blends its past and present so seamlessly. Ancient temples stand beside skyscrapers, cherry blossoms bloom beside bullet trains, proving that progress and tradition can, in fact, coexist beautifully. Which of these places would you visit first? The spiritual calm of Kyoto or the electric rhythm of Tokyo? Comment number 10 below. Number 11. Unsolved mysterious places. Every nation hides its secrets. but Japan's mysteries linger like ghosts in the mist. Some are ancient legends, others modern enigmas still unexplained. Together, they form the country's quiet underworld of wonder and unease. Number 1 is Aokigahara Forest, known as the Sea of Trees. Stretching across 35 square kilometers at the base of Mount Fuji, its silence is almost unnatural. Compasses fail here, birds rarely sing, and paths twist like riddles. Locals say the forest absorbs sorrow, a place where the line between life and death blurs. Despite its reputation, many still visit for its moss-covered beauty and eerie serenity. Then there's the Inunaki village, a rumored settlement outside the laws of Japan. Though maps show nothing, countless urban explorers claim to have seen its crumbling gates and heard disembodied voices. While most stories trace back to internet myths, the fascination endures, a blend of fear and curiosity that defines Japanese folklore. Another mystery rests beneath Lake Mashu in Hokkaido, one of the world's clearest lakes, with visibility reaching 40 meters deep. Yet, no one truly knows its depth, as measurements constantly shift. Interestingly, Japan's mysteries aren't always about fear. They're about respect. In a country that believes spirits live in stones, trees, and rivers, mystery is not something to solve, but something to preserve. Would you dare to explore these haunted places alone? Comment number 11 if you would. Number 12. Famous dishes of Japan. Japan's cuisine is more than food. It's philosophy, precision, and art on a plate. Every dish carries a story of balance, season, and subtle beauty. The Japanese call it washoku, harmony of food. And in 2013, UNESCO recognized it as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Number 1, of course, is sushi. What began as a way to preserve fish in fermented rice has evolved into a global symbol of purity and discipline. In Tokyo's Tsukiji and Toyosu markets, master chefs handle tuna worth thousands of dollars per kilogram, cutting each slice like a ritual. The taste, smooth, delicate, oceanic, defines Japanese simplicity. Next is ramen, the nation's soul food. From the creamy tonkotsu of Fukuoka to the soy-based shoyu of Tokyo, each bowl tells a regional story. The steam, the broth, the rhythmic slurp. It's comfort that warms both body and memory. Then comes tempura, okonomiyaki, and takoyaki, the sizzling street heroes of Osaka, rich with sound and scent. Interestingly, despite Japan's obsession with refinement, street food remains a proud tradition, blending chaos with charm. What's fascinating is that even in luxury dining, presentation matters as much as taste. Every color, every garnish, every sound of the chopsticks is intentional, transforming each meal into meditation. Which of these dishes would you try first? Comment number 12 and let me know. Number 13. Unique festivals tourists should know. In Japan, festivals aren't just events. They are living time machines, carrying centuries of belief and beauty into the present. Each season has its celebration, each region its rhythm, and together they form the heartbeat of Japanese culture. One of the most breathtaking is the Gion Matsuri in Kyoto, held every July for over 100 years. Towering floats called yamaboko, some weighing more than 12 tons, glide through the streets like moving art galleries. The sound of flutes, drums, and bells fills the humid summer air, a sensory journey through Japan's past. Then comes the Awa Odori in Tokushima, a dance festival where over 100,000 performers move in unison chanting, "It's a fool who doesn't dance." The energy is contagious, part comedy, part devotion, entirely unforgettable. Winter brings the Sapporo Snow Festival, where massive sculptures, some as tall as buildings, turn the city into a frozen art park visited by more than 2 million people each year. Interestingly, Japan's festivals are not just for spectators, but for participation. Locals often invite travelers to dance, carry floats, or join in rituals. It's a rare glimpse of unity in a society known for restraint. Would you join one of these colorful celebrations? Comment number 13 if you'd dance, chant, or march through the streets of Japan. Number 14. Cost of living in Japan. Behind Japan's glowing skylines and impeccable order lies a reality few travelers truly grasp: the cost of living. The country's beauty, efficiency, and safety come with a quiet price tag that often surprises even the locals. In Tokyo, one of the world's most expensive cities, a single one-bedroom apartment in the city center can cost $1,200 to $2,500 per month, often for less than 35 square meters of space. Groceries, utilities, and transportation add another $800 to $1,000, leaving many young professionals with little to save. Yet, the streets remain spotless, trains never late, and the social fabric intact, all maintained through quiet sacrifice. Outside the capital, life is gentler but still costly. In Kyoto or Osaka, prices drop slightly, but imported goods, even fruits like melons or grapes, can cost 10 times what they do in the West. A perfectly shaped cantaloupe might sell for $50, not as food, but as a gift of respect. The irony is striking. A country that values minimalism demands maximum effort to maintain it. Every polished window, every silent train ride comes at a financial and emotional cost. Would you trade space for perfection or perfection for freedom? Comment 14 if Japan's quiet balance between beauty and burden fascinates you. Number 15. Travel tips for tourists. Japan is a country that rewards respect. Every temple bell, every bow, every silence has meaning. To travel here is to enter a society built on consideration, where small gestures matter more than words. Start with etiquette. When visiting shrines, bow lightly before entering, cleanse your hands at the water basin, and avoid photographing people in prayer. Shoes should always come off when entering homes or traditional inns. Even in public transport, silence is golden. Phones on mute, voices low. For cash, yes, cash. Always carry yen. Many local shops, ramen stalls, and even small hotels still prefer coins and bills over cards. Convenience stores like 7-Eleven or Lawson have ATMs that accept foreign cards. If you ride Japan's trains, buy an IC card like Suica or Pasmo. It works nationwide and saves time. But never be late. Trains depart on the dot, sometimes down to the second. Above all, stay curious but humble. Japan isn't meant to be conquered through a checklist. It's meant to be experienced quietly, through moments of stillness, taste, and discovery. When you leave, take only memories, and leave only footprints on clean streets that have seen 1,000 years of discipline. Would you travel to Japan knowing it demands more respect than adventure? Comment 15 if your answer is yes.
Russia is a country wrapped in contradictions, a land where ancient traditions collide with harsh realities, creating a world that outsiders rarely see and even fewer truly understand. This is a nation where more women exist than men, yet relationships follow rules shaped by survival, history, and loss. A place where people are taught not to smile at strangers, where kings once taxed their citizens for daring to grow a beard, and where culture itself is built on resilience hardened over 1,000 winters.
Here, even the homes reflect a different rhythm. Bathrooms split into two separate rooms, a small detail that reveals a much larger story about how Russians live, endure, and adapt. Faith, too, took an unconventional path, with leaders choosing Christianity over Islam because giving up alcohol was unthinkable. Life in Russia is layered with shadows and complexity. The gender imbalance persists alongside a harsh statistic. 1 in 4 men will not live past 55, and over 1 million citizens face the silent battle of HIV. Yet, amid struggle, beauty thrives. Museum cats guard priceless art, pancakes come with caviar, and Lake Baikal holds more mysteries than any inland water on Earth. But beneath the culture and landscapes lie deeper, stranger truths. Bears getting high on kerosene, prisoners communicating through an unbreakable tattoo code, and citizens diving into ice-cold waters as a test of faith and strength. This is Russia, raw, unfiltered, and far more astonishing than the world realizes.
Number 1. 54% of the Russian population is female. Russia is one of the few major nations where women significantly outnumber men. 54% of the population is female, a statistic rooted in trauma, history, and the long shadow of conflict. For centuries, Russia has sent more men to war, to prisons, and to hazardous labor than almost any other country. The result is a demographic imbalance that shapes everything from family life to social expectations. In many towns, especially across Siberia and the Far East, women make up the majority of classrooms, workplaces, and entire neighborhoods. Meanwhile, men face a harsher statistical fate: shorter life expectancy, higher rates of alcoholism, and an elevated risk of early death. 1 in 4 will never see the age of 55, a reality that widens the gender gap year after year. This imbalance has created a culture where women often shoulder both emotional and economic responsibilities, becoming the backbone of households and communities. Yet, despite carrying this weight, many describe dating as a paradox. Plenty of women, but not enough healthy, stable, or long-living men. The imbalance also influences politics, education, and migration trends. Entire regions depend on women to sustain the workforce, raise children, and maintain traditions. It is a quiet demographic crisis that rarely makes international headlines, but its effects ripple through every layer of Russian society. And this is only the beginning, because behind Russia's population numbers lies a deeper, older pattern, one shaped not by the present, but by centuries of survival.
Number 2. Why Russians don't smile and the strange era of beard taxes. Russians are taught that smiling without reason feels insincere. This belief stretches across nearly 145 million people, shaping how strangers interact on streets, in shops, and inside the bustling metro stations of Moscow. The reason is cultural. A smile signals genuine emotion, not polite formality. Interestingly, this creates a contrast where warm friendships exist behind expressions outsiders often misinterpret as cold. It's worth noting that many Russians say forced smiling feels like unnecessary performance. The country once pushed this seriousness even further. In 1698, Peter the Great introduced a beard tax to modernize society, charging men up to 100 rubles for the right to keep facial hair. Those who paid received a copper beard token stamped with a tiny face and the phrase, "The beard is a superfluous burden." Guards were known to shave violators on the spot. Despite this strict policy, however, many older merchants continued wearing beards because they believed facial hair symbolized dignity and religious devotion. To visitors from the West, where smiling at strangers is routine, the Russian approach feels unusual, yet locals see it as practical, similar to conserving energy during long, silent winter mornings. While Westerners value outward friendliness, Russians value emotional accuracy. The contrast is remarkable, but culturally meaningful. This quiet restraint forms the emotional foundation of daily life, and it raises a question. How does a society with such expressive discipline manage the intimate spaces inside its homes?
Number 3. Choosing faith without giving up spirits. Christianity over alcohol. In 988 AD, Russia officially adopted Christianity, but the decision was shaped by an unexpected factor: alcohol consumption. Unlike many nations that converted for political or cultural reasons alone, Russians reportedly chose Christianity over Islam in part because giving up alcohol was unacceptable. Vodka, mead, and fermented beverages were deeply embedded in rituals, festivals, and daily life, making moderation a social necessity rather than an indulgence. The adoption of Christianity spread across the vast territory of Kievan Rus, encompassing over 2 million square kilometers and a population of approximately 5 million people at the time. Monasteries, cathedrals, and icons quickly became central to both urban and rural communities. Yet celebrations still included rich aromatic drinks that maintained continuity with older pagan traditions. This blending of faith and local custom created a unique Russian religious culture still visible today. Interestingly, the paradox persists. A nation often stereotyped as strictly devout maintains one of the highest per capita alcohol consumption rates in Europe, around 11 liters per adult per year. While Western countries often separate church and social drinking, Russia's historical choice fused both worlds, allowing spiritual observance and cultural indulgence to coexist. This delicate balance influenced societal norms, law, and even medicine for centuries. It is a vivid reminder that cultural decisions are rarely simple or purely doctrinal. Comment number 3 if you think faith and alcohol could ever coexist in society.
Number 4. One home, 2 rooms, toilet and shower separation. In many Russian apartments, the bathroom is divided into 2 separate rooms, one for the toilet, one for the shower or bathtub. This layout may seem odd to outsiders, but it is practical. It allows multiple family members to use facilities simultaneously without waiting. The reason is historical. Soviet-era housing designs focused on efficiency and hygiene in crowded communal living blocks. Approximately 60% of Russian urban apartments still follow this pattern, especially in cities like St. Petersburg and Novosibirsk. The separation creates an unexpected sensory experience for visitors. The smooth tile underfoot in one room contrasts with the moist warmth and steam in the other, emphasizing the functional division of spaces. Beyond the practical, this design reflects a deeper cultural principle. Privacy and respect for others' routines are valued highly, even in small shared homes. Families adapt seamlessly, showing resilience in constrained spaces. Interestingly, the contrast is evident when compared to Western housing, where bathrooms are usually combined. While in the West, convenience dominates, Russians prioritize order and efficiency over uniform comfort. Moreover, older generations insist on maintaining this structure, believing it keeps homes cleaner and reduces conflicts during busy mornings. This small architectural quirk offers insight into the rhythm of Russian daily life. It's fascinating how something as simple as a door can reflect centuries of cultural adaptation. Comment number 4 if you would dare to live in a 2-room bathroom apartment.
Number 5. The museum protected by cats. The Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg carries a remarkable secret hidden beneath its majestic halls. Below the galleries, in quiet stone corridors, dozens of cats live and work as full-time guardians against rodents. Their presence dates back to the 18th century,
when Empress Elizabeth ordered cats to protect the palace from mice. Today, around 70 trained felines remain on duty, each registered, medically cared for, and treated as part of the institution's heritage. The Hermitage itself is one of the largest and oldest museums in the world, containing over 3 million artworks. If you spent 2 minutes at each exhibit, it would take 6 years to see everything, showing the extraordinary scale of its vibrant and pristine collection. Despite this overwhelming size, however, the museum maintains a serene rhythm, allowing visitors to absorb each masterpiece at their own pace. Interestingly, the cats have become cultural icons. Their soft footsteps echo through the underground tunnels, while staff celebrate an annual Day of the Hermitage Cat, honoring their unusual service. The reason this tradition survives is simple. It works. Rodents remain rare, and the cats bring a sense of warmth to a towering imperial institution. While Western museums rely on digital pest control, the Hermitage blends ancient practice and modern structure, proving that tradition can coexist with innovation.
Number 6. A nation of women, gender imbalance and life expectancy. Russia's population shows a striking demographic paradox. There are 1,159 women for every 1,000 men. This imbalance is shaped by a combination of historical wars, harsh working conditions, and lifestyle factors. Approximately 1 in 4 Russian men will die before reaching the age of 55, while women often live decades longer, creating a society where women dominate education, healthcare, and urban employment sectors. The health statistics are sobering. Russia has over 1 million people living with HIV, and male mortality from heart disease, alcohol-related causes, and accidents remains disproportionately high. Despite these challenges, women continue to lead households, manage finances, and maintain traditions, showing remarkable resilience. Urban streets bustle with women heading to work, markets, or public transport, reflecting both independence and necessity. Interestingly, the gender imbalance has social consequences. Dating culture, marriage expectations, and family planning are all influenced by a shortage of men, especially in Siberia and rural regions. While Western societies often grapple with equality debates, Russia faces a survival-driven imbalance. Women outnumber men, yet both genders navigate profound societal pressures. This demographic reality also shapes education, politics, and migration trends. Life expectancy differences and population ratios ripple through every layer of society, from professional dynamics to social interactions. It is a stark example of how numbers quietly govern the rhythms of daily life. Comment number 6 if you find Russia's gender imbalance surprising.
Number 7. The taste of Russia. Russian cuisine blends richness, survival, and centuries of ritual. One of its most iconic dishes is blini, thin pancakes served with bright red caviar, thick sour cream, or sweet aromatic jams. Their soft, smooth texture contrasts with the salty burst of fish roe, creating a taste that symbolizes both celebration and resilience. Historically, blini were offered during Maslenitsa, a festival marking the end of winter, representing the sun's return with their golden, round shape. Another staple is the omul fish, found only in the crystal-clear waters of Lake Baikal, the deepest lake on Earth at 1,642 meters. Smoked omul carries a delicate, savory aroma with a slightly chewy texture that locals consider a regional treasure. Visitors often compare it to Western smoked trout, though its flavor is uniquely serene and pristine due to Baikal's cold ecosystem. Then comes holodets, a traditional meat jelly. Its smooth, chilled surface and rich broth flavor may surprise outsiders. The reason it remains popular is practicality. It was historically easy to store during cold winters and packed with nutrients. While Western diners may associate gelatin dishes with desserts, Russians embrace holodets as a festive mainstay. These foods reflect a familiar paradox: simple ingredients transformed into extraordinary cultural symbols, combining ancient traditions with modern tastes. Which Russian dish would you try first? Blini, smoked omo, or holodets? Share your choice in the comments.
Number 8. Bears getting high on kerosene, a Siberian oddity. In the most remote corners of Siberia, where human footprints are rare and winter dominates nearly the entire year, an unusual phenomenon has puzzled locals for decades. Here, abandoned fuel barrels left behind by hunters, loggers, and old Soviet outposts become irresistible magnets, not for people, but for bears. Wild brown bears have been observed sniffing spilled kerosene and diesel, returning repeatedly as if drawn by an addictive scent. Witnesses describe them staggering, wobbling, and rolling in the snow, behaving almost as though they're intoxicated. Some bears will even guard a barrel, chasing away other animals just to keep their access to the fumes. It sounds almost humorous, a bizarre headline from a strange corner of the world, but it reveals something deeper about wildlife in harsh environments. Siberia's vast wilderness is so isolated that abandoned equipment often becomes part of the ecosystem itself. Bears, naturally curious and driven by strong scent instincts, investigate anything unfamiliar. Over time, they've learned that the fumes trigger a strange chemical reaction in their brains, making the barrels a source of stimulation rather than danger. Researchers still struggle to understand the full extent of this behavior. Is it addiction? Is it boredom in a land where food is scarce for months on end? Or is it simply animal curiosity taken to an extreme? In these frozen territories, oddities aren't just possible, they're expected. Siberia remains a place where nature behaves on its own rules, untouched, unpredictable, and sometimes shockingly strange. Comment 8. Do you think unusual animal behaviors like this should be treated as natural adaptation or human-caused problems?
Number 9. A land of extremes, 11 time zones, giant railways, and Lake Baikal. Russia is so vast that the sun rises and sets at different moments across the nation, literally. Spanning 11 time zones, it is a country where distance shapes identity. A flight from Kaliningrad in the west to the far east city of Vladivostok takes longer than traveling across the entire United States and back. This sheer scale doesn't just define geography, it defines culture, travel, and the rhythm of life itself. Connecting this enormous land is the third largest railway network in the world, a system so extensive it stretches more than 85,000 kilometers. The Trans-Siberian Railway alone is a journey of epic proportions, over 9,200 kilometers, taking passengers through forests, tundra, small forgotten towns, and endless horizons. For many remote communities, these tracks are lifelines, carrying goods, stories, and people across landscapes that appear untouched by time. And then there is Lake Baikal, the crown jewel of Siberia. The oldest and deepest lake on Earth, it holds more water than all of North America's Great Lakes combined. Its depth reaches 1,642 meters, and its winter ice becomes so clear you can look straight down into the abyss beneath your feet. Scientists estimate Baikal is home to over 3,000 species found nowhere else on the planet, a frozen universe of life, mystery, and quiet power. In Russia, nature doesn't just surround you, it overwhelms you. The vastness becomes a character of its own, shaping every story and every journey. Comment 9. Which natural wonder or extreme landscape has left the biggest impression on you?
Number 10. Ice bathing, the cold ritual of strength and faith. Across Russia, when winter freezes rivers into solid glass and temperatures plunge far below zero, a remarkable ritual takes place. Men, Women and even elderly villagers step into the open air, breathe in the sharp metallic cold, and lower themselves into ice-cut holes carved into frozen lakes and rivers. This is not a dare, it is a tradition woven deeply into Russian identity. Known as morzhenie, winter swimming, and closely tied to the Orthodox celebration of Epiphany, ice bathing symbolizes purification, courage, and unwavering faith. Believers say the freezing water washes away sins. Others claim it strengthens the immune system, sharpens the mind, and hardens the spirit. For many Russians, it is all three. The moment a person submerges, the body enters shock. The heart races, breath shortens, and the cold feels like needles across the skin. Yet participants describe an overwhelming clarity afterward, a mental reset, a surge of energy, and a sense of triumph over nature itself. This ritual reflects something uniquely Russian, the ability to endure extremes. In a land shaped by brutal winters, enduring the cold becomes more than survival, it becomes identity. The ice bath is both a challenge and a declaration. If I can conquer this, I can conquer anything. Even those who never participate still respect those who do. It is a reminder that resilience here is not theoretical, it is practiced. Comment 10. Would you ever try ice bathing? Or does the idea of freezing water sound completely impossible to you?
Number 11. Prison tattoos, Russia's most complex visual code. Inside Russia's toughest prisons, from the frozen camps of Siberia to shadowed cells deep in old Soviet fortresses, a hidden language evolves on skin. These are not decorative tattoos. They are codes, ranking systems, biographies, and warnings. In Russia's criminal underworld, a tattoo is never just ink. It is identity, history, and authority carved into flesh. A star on the shoulders means high rank, someone feared, respected, or violently earned. Domes across the chest resemble church towers, each dome representing a prison sentence served. A barbed wire crown tattooed across the forehead tells the world the wearer is serving life. Cats often symbolize thieves, while angels may represent years lost in childhood prisons. Every symbol carries weight, and misusing one can be fatal. This system was developed by the Voria Zakone, the thieves-in-law, an elite and strict criminal fraternity. They enforce tattoo rules with absolute discipline. A man who falsely wore a high-rank symbol could be beaten, humiliated, or forced to remove the tattoo, often by burning it off. Comment 11. Do you think tattoos should be treated as personal art, or can they truly shape identity and status the way they do in Russia's prisons?
Number 12. Cost of living in Russia. Living in Russia creates a unique paradox. The country feels affordable at first glance, yet daily life reveals a carefully balanced mix of savings and hidden expenses. Compared to cities like New York, London, and Singapore, Russia's major urban centers remain noticeably cheaper, but the gap narrows once housing, services, and imported goods enter the picture. A one-bedroom apartment in Moscow city center costs around $850 to $1,100 per month, while the same apartment outside the center usually falls between $450 and $650 per month. Utilities for a small apartment average $90 to $120, depending on the brutal winter heating demands. Ride-hailing apps such as Yandex.Go make transportation surprisingly manageable, with most city trips falling between $2 and $6. For long distances, the metro remains the cheapest and fastest, costing under $1 per ride. Street food keeps budgets under control. A chaburik costs about $1, a shawarma averages $2.50 to $3, and a bowl of borscht sits around $1.50 to $2. Weekly groceries for one person typically reach $35 to $55, depending on whether you buy local brands or imported items.
A gym membership ranges from $25 to $45, laundry service averages $5 to $7 per load, and basic private healthcare consultations usually start at $18 to $25, significantly cheaper than in Western countries. When everything is combined, an average single person living modestly in a mid-sized city can survive on a $650 to $900 monthly budget, while Moscow requires around $1,100 to $1,500 for comfortable living. This makes Russia attractive to students, remote workers, long-term travelers, and budget-minded expats looking for an urban experience without Western-level expenses. Yet the biggest surprise is how Russia blends affordability with resilience. Low prices contrast sharply with harsh winters, long travel distances, and lifestyle adjustments the newcomers must gradually learn. Comment 12. What part of Russia's cost of living surprised you the most? Housing, food, or transportation?
Number 13. Travel tips for Russia. Traveling to Russia requires preparation, but with the right approach, visitors can enjoy a safe, fascinating, and culturally immersive experience. Documents and visa are the first step. Most travelers need a tourist visa, which can be obtained via the e-visa system for select regions at around $40 to $60. Citizens from visa-exempt countries can stay for limited days, while others must apply through Russian consulates. Always carry passport copies and registration confirmation, as authorities may request them. Transportation is efficient yet vast. Moscow and St. Petersburg boast reliable metro systems with color-coded lines, while Yandex.Go and Get apps offer convenient ride-hailing. Taxis from street vendors are less reliable, so it's safer to pre-book through reputable services. Trains connect major cities, but long-distance journeys can span 20-plus hours, so plan accordingly. Cultural etiquette matters. Dress modestly when visiting churches or monasteries. Use local greetings like Zdravstvuyte for formal hello, and respect gestures. Pointing can be considered rude. Bargaining is acceptable in markets, but not in stores. Understanding the subtle hierarchy of politeness can dramatically improve interactions. Food and health tips. Street food is generally safe, but ensure hot meals are freshly cooked. Drink bottled water in smaller towns and pack basic medications for cold weather or stomach sensitivity. Traditional dishes such as borscht, blini, and pelmeni are must-tries. Money and payments. The local currency is the Russian ruble, RUB. ATMs are widespread, but always carry some cash for remote areas. Cards are widely accepted in cities, yet small markets prefer cash. Tipping is customary at 5 to 10%. By following these tips, travelers can navigate Russia's immense landscapes, enjoy its majestic landmarks, and fully experience the rich, resilient culture of its people. Comment 13. Which of these travel tips would you use first on your Russian adventure?
Most outsiders imagine Mongolia as a land of nomads and endless steppes. But what if this nation of serene landscapes hides some of the most surprising and paradoxical traditions in the world? Real life in Mongolia is a mix of extremes, a country where some families avoid bathing for days, yet offer unparalleled hospitality to strangers, where young men can win brides by catching horses, and women, educated at top universities, struggle to find partners. This documentary goes beyond cliches of yurts and Gobi deserts to explore the most astonishing facts and culturally rich contradictions of Mongolia. From drinking fermented horse milk and mysterious spiritual practices to living in the world's coldest capital, from diets made almost entirely of meat to the secretive rituals of the Gobi, Mongolia challenges every expectation. Is it a nation of ancient customs or modern survival? Are its people steeped in invisible beliefs or shaped by extreme environment? Ready to uncover the extraordinary truths behind Mongolia, a country where tradition, mystery, and resilience collide in the most astonishing ways.
Number 1. The land of endless steppes. Mongolia stretches across 1.56 million square kilometers, bordered by Russia to the north and China to the south, with portions of Lake Hovskol and the Gobi Desert defining its extremes. Although relatively small compared to continents, its size rivals 3 times the area of California, offering sweeping plains, rugged mountains, and deserts that seem infinite. Approximately 45% of the country is covered in mountains, while vast grasslands dominate 40%, and the remaining land hosts lakes, rivers, and the occasional oasis. What makes Mongolia truly unique is its mix of